DeAndre Hopkins, a fiery force to be reckoned with on the football field. His journey with the Cardinals is not just about catching passes, but also about resilience, determination, and a burning desire to succeed. In the world of professional football, few electrify the masses with the athleticism and skill that Hopkins exhibits. Today, we delve into his remarkable journey with the Cardinals. And stay tuned for a fun fact about the NFL rockstar's nickname. College career and the Houston Texans. Hopkins enrolled in Clemson University and played for the Tigers, where he showed that his college career was a little taste of what was to come. With each passing year, Hopkins proved that he was there to play ball, and he was there to play ball hard. Stacking on his records, he began his first year with an impressive 52 receptions, 637 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And by the end of his college career, he had quadrupled his touchdowns and made over double his receiving yards. This created the image of Hopkins that would go on to create waves in the NFL. When he joined the Houston Texans, Hopkins proved that he was a force to be reckoned with, creating an all-time career high of 115 receptions in the 2018 season and a league-leading 13 touchdowns in the 2017 season. Hopkins finished his 2018 season with an amazing 115 receptions for a career high of 1,572 receiving yards and 11 touchdowns. An athlete that someone in their team would be proud to have, but sadly, an athlete that they would have to say goodbye to soon enough. The trade-in. Hopkins was traded into the Cardinals on March 16, 2020, in what subsequently turned into a great controversy. Looks like everyone had the same thought when the higher-ups got involved, and it did not sit right with many of the fans. Many were critical of the Texans, including the head coach at the time, Bill O'Brien. And to hit the nail on the head, dozens of sports writers agreed, calling it one of the worst decisions of all time, all the while rooting for the Cardinals as they made quite a steal. Later that year, Hopkins debuted as a Cardinal in a close victory with stats clocking in at an impressive 14 receptions for 151 yards. Hopkins would later earn his first receiving touchdown as a Cardinal against the Washington Commanders in a double-score victory of 30-15. Hopkins continues his unstoppable road to success as he goes up against the New York Jets and wins the game in an even better triple-scored victory of 30-10 with a mind-blowing 37-yard touchdown reception. Hopkins doesn't fail to disappoint as he enters the Sunday Night Football with a vengeance. He narrowly misses defeat at the hands of the Seattle Seahawks, not sparing a step as he ends the game with a crowd-roaring 10 catches over 103 yards. Hopkins goes against the Seahawks one more time. They accept defeat with a narrow margin of 28-21. But it wasn't all frowns. In that game, Hopkins achieved something that would put his name even higher, reaching 700 catches and becoming the youngest person to accomplish such a remarkable feat, even beating out his teammate Larry Fitzgerald, who previously held the title. In the game against the Eagles, Hopkins racked up another spectacular yardage of 169 for 9 catches in a well-deserved victory. Against the Rams, once again Hopkins displayed the kind of determination that an NFL player should exhibit as he crosses an incredible milestone and garnered the 10,000 receiving yards mark, making him the youngest person to ever pull off such an astounding title. With more ups than downs in his first season, Hopkins rounds out his first year with the Cardinals with an outstanding 1,407 receiving yards, 6 receiving touchdowns, and a whopping 115 receptions. This marked a new record for the most receptions in a single season, beating Fitzgerald's numbers. Down but not out. The next season proved to be a challenge for Hopkins. The next month, over 53 yards, Hopkins caught 7 passes and even landed a touchdown in a harrowing loss for his former colleagues with a score of 31-5 in a flawless 7-0 record. They did not get better as one would have hoped. In the 14th week, Hopkins encountered another injury, tearing his MCL, culminating in a much-needed placement into the injured reserve late that year. As it was a common injury for NFL players, it took some time for Hopkins to recover as the injury hit him hard. And though hitting the like button is a matter of favor and not doing so is your right, the editor works tirelessly day and night on this creation, and a little appreciation goes a long way. Thank you very much! Even through the adversity he faced, Hopkins still showed determination and the skill that athletes have to display on the field, and was ranked 37th out of the top 100 NFL players of 2022. A shocking controversy. Just as things were starting to look up for Hopkins as he came out of the stretcher, on May 2, 2022, the NFL announced his suspension for the first 6 games. This penalty was brought about by the fact that Hopkins was found to be under the influence of ostarine, a drug that has been classified by the NFL as performance-enhancing and has been deemed prohibited by the association. The suspension caused a certain amount of controversy, while Hopkins remained that he had not been using the substance knowingly. Patented researchers on ostarine have found positive tests to just show up on results, which have been shown to corroborate Hopkins' story. Hopkins added that the percentage found in his system was inconsequential, and claimed that if he had taken the supplement, there would be more found in his system. Even goes so far as saying that he barely even takes vitamins, let alone supplements. The Cardinals, on the other end of the controversy, also lent their help in finding out the mystery of the test results. Feeling the loss of Hopkins, Kingsbury stated that he brings a dynamic that any team would want to have. Kingsbury further praised Hopkins by describing him as a #1 playmaker, and defenses would have to keep their guard up at every turn. As Hopkins returned, he made it clear that his suspension didn't impede his spirit. In his victory against the New Orleans Saints, throughout the match as he struggled to push to the end with each reception, he proved that he was not going down without a fight. Bobbing through his opponents, keeping light on his feet just to make it past the Giants in front of him, he ended the match with 103 yards and a decent score of 42-34. Getting back on the horse, Hopkins went up against the Minnesota Vikings in a loss that had 12 receptions. Hopkins blazes through the field, dodges the Viking-sized players, spinning and eventually catching his touchdown with a single hand while being completely closed and blocked off by the other team, a stellar development on his end. Hopkins ended the season with a surprising 64 receptions despite his suspension, with a receiving yardage of 717 and a superb single-handed receiving touchdown followed by 2 more. His journey with the Cardinals would come to an end as he was released on May 26, 2023, and he signed on with the Tennessee Titans on July 24, 2023. Hopkins proved that it wasn't about how long you played with the team, it's about the dedication you show on the field, especially as he enters a new age with the Titans. He came out of the Cardinal doors blazing and showing the kind of skill that he had honed through the years, proving those sports writers right that Hopkins was a solid steal from the Houston Texans. Paying homage to his infantile nickname Nuke, even if it came from something so juvenile, it proved to be something else on the field. Hopkins' display of athleticism and dedication inspires athletes all around the world. He proved that it was about the game, not the players, and that no matter what, nothing should stop you from running the race of life. Do you think they made the right decision by trading Hopkins to the Cardinals? What do you think of Hopkins' inspiring story? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to SportsL for more awesome sports stories. Until next time, let's keep enjoying the game!